Hey YouTube, this is Alec, also known as Edison1, and today I have another watch review for you. I suppose my other video wasn't necessarily a review, but this one I can call a review since this watch is everywhere on eBay. This is a turntable watch from Paidu. It's another cheap Chinese watch, and this watch can be had for $7 including shipping. Now overall, I'm incredibly impressed with this watch, and this video is just going to show you that first of all, it does indeed work. And second of all, I'm going to go over some of the things that I both like and dislike about this particular watch. I can guarantee you that most of the things are very positive. So one of the first things that I want to point out is the band on here is quite loose. And I don't mean like it's too big. I have adjusted it, but it's not solid at all. You can see how much it jingles. And you know, when you bend it to one side, it doesn't stay straight. This isn't really a bad thing, but it just shows that it's not too good of a quality band. But again, when you're paying $7 for a watch to ship it from China, I mean, what more can you expect? In terms of the way the band looks, it actually looks pretty high-end. It's got a polished stainless steel part on the outside edges, and it's kind of like a brushed finish on the inside. Now, this isn't necessarily stainless steel. It might not be, but it looks like it, so I would say it probably is. One of the things that I don't particularly like is the clasp here. It works like you would expect, where it folds back on itself. This isn't working out too well for me. It folds back on itself, but there's no obvious latch keeping it closed. It just snaps together, and it seems pretty secure, but it was kind of not obvious to me how this worked when I got the watch, but it literally just kind of snaps in there and you pull it apart to open it up. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but that's basically all it is. The Paidu brand is written on the back of the clasp there, so I mean, it's not like this is just some sort of knockoff watch. They are proud of their name, so I suppose that's a good thing. Going back to the face for a little bit, it's a very striking face. I like how everything is patterned on here, and the glass is very reflective. And it's a very deep black, and it's a completely uniform face. You can see how it's reflecting the shop light above me quite well. The numbers have a bit of a depth to them. You can tell that the minute disc is on top of the hour disc, and the second hand is on top of it as well. I guess you can't really call it a hand, but when you look at it on the side like this, you can see more of how the numbers are recessed inside, which is actually a pretty nice effect. Now, when you go to set the watch, one of the good things is that the second disc does stop, so you can actually set this to the second. And the movement is just like any other watch movement. You pull out the crown and then you turn it. And so it's kind of weird when you set it because of the way it looks. But it's just like any other watch, where it's essentially a minute hand spinning around and an hour hand that's turning with the minute hand. But when you set the watch, everything works great, and it's just like you would expect it. And in terms of its accuracy, I can say that it's only losing about 3 seconds per week, it seems. It might even be more accurate than that. So it's a pretty good watch movement. It's not, or it's not something to be annoyed with. Like, for instance, the clock in my car, it gains a lot of time every month, but this watch, it seems to be pretty darn good. One thing that I do have a bit of a complaint on, if you move it to the 0 position, the hour doesn't perfectly line up, and it's the same for all the minutes. So like you can see, if I have it say 9 o'clock, the 0 is in line with the arrow, but the 9 isn't quite there. And I actually have a couple of other watches from this company, and they have the same issue, but this one is not bad enough to be annoying. But I would just say that if this is something that's going to bug you, expect to see it on a different watch of theirs, because I have, and I'll show that watch at a later point. But one last thing before I close this out. The watch band pins on the band are very large. You can see them That round circle at the right part of the link, that is actually the pin. And so it's kind of weird because that's not what you would normally see on a watch. However, that means that you can easily remove and add links yourself. I was able to do it by just putting it in a vise and using a small screwdriver with a hammer to knock the pin out. Now, one fair word of warning, they don't give you any extra links, and the watch was kind of small. I usually have to remove 3 or 4 links for my wrist. I only removed 2 on this watch, and since there were no extras, I would say if you have big wrists, you might not be able to wear this. Now, certainly, because it's only $7, you could put your own band on there if you wanted to, but I thought I would let you know that because, you know, it is actually a fairly nice band. It certainly looks nice. The only complaint is it's kind of loose and it has a bit of a jingling noise. Actually, I play the piano, and when I'm playing, I can actually hear this jingle a little bit on my left hand. So I think I'll wrap this video up now, and certainly I think this watch is an excellent buy. For only $7 you get a very striking watch that certainly has excellent fit and finish. While the band is a little loose and I think could be improved in its quality, it's certainly good enough, and for $7 I don't know how you could possibly expect more. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Alec, also known as Edison Phone 01, and thank you very much for watching.